And we say good afternoon. Welcome aboard. It is day number 8 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Along with the horse, we're welcoming you on this cold, wintry day, and it's going to be hot inside. Got lots to talk about in sports-wise today, and we'll be talking to some of the drivers of NASCAR. You'll be going to be hearing from Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano and Trevor Bayne out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Kyle Busch, my boy, Rowdy. We'll have him on a little bit later on.
He always wears sunglasses. You never see his eyes. It took me a while to find a picture of him without his sunglasses on.
Got the beady eyes. Well, I mean, a guy could drive now. Come on. So we'll be talking to those guys. You'll hear from those guys today. Harvick, of course, your points champion. Joey Logano, Trevor Bayne, Kyle Busch will be by again we'll hear from them. Also going to be hearing from Greg Salyer, our Reds report guy. It's Wednesday, which means he's going to be talking about the Reds and get a report about them as they get ready for spring training starts tomorrow.
Pitchers and catchers.
Voluntarily, they can report pitchers and catchers. Then everybody reports on the 24th on Monday. Or I should say everybody else voluntarily reports on Monday the 24th, and everybody in Major League Baseball has got to be in camp by March the 3rd. So you look outside, and it's cold, and the wind's blowing, but you think spring. And, of course, it's going to warm up at the weekend, so even around here. So it's, as I always say, it's never too hot, too cold, for too long around here, so I'm all right with it. So,
but today is snow cream day.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
I don't know. Have you ever made snow cream?
Absolutely. You want to go make some today?
We might have to make some snow cream.
If we could take our cam outside, you and I could
snow
frolic in the snow.
No, we don't frolic.
No. As big as you now are, there ain't no frolicking going on there, no. It's a little bit more intense than frolicking. But so I'm assuming you made snow cream?
Back when I was a kid, we did, yeah.
Yeah. And put chocolate syrup in or vanilla? How did you make snow cream?
Mom always just made vanilla snow cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we used to make a chocolate snow cream, get a little bit of Hershey syrup, squirt it in there and stir it up and have a little chocolate snow cream. But we always had to be different up in West Virginia.
I hear you.
So, well, let's jump in here again. Coming up later also, we'll check in with Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. And, of course, one of our great sponsors. Today's show brought to you by Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, also by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. The quiz show coming up. Questions about Elvis. Being asked by Tommy Weinmann and being prepared by the Apester. Will there be a 3 go up on the scoreboard today? We'll see.
I doubt it, seriously.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think I can do that?
No, you flunked last time when it came to Elvis.
Well, since you and I are a team now, we've changed the rules now.
Oh, we've changed the rules.
You can help me now.
Oh, I can help you.
So I'm not out on my own anymore. You can do it. You're my helpline. Is that what it's called? Helpmate? Helpline? Lifeline. You're my lifeline. So,
but you assume that I am an Elvis aficionado.
No, I didn't assume anything. I've been around you enough to know I don't assume anything, but I will say if I need help, I can at least go to you. So yesterday you helped me out. One of them I was getting ready to go down the wrong trail, and you said, no, think about this, and you helped me out. So, yeah, you'll do the lifeline. We'll do that a little bit later on. Also, we're being brought to you by Cherokee Barbershop. Also, Book Lovers Warehouse. Just talked to Bob before we went on air, and he's back on, and that's exciting news. So we're adding back our old folks day by day by day. Our verse of the day, Psalms 139, verses 13 through 14. I created your innermost being. I knit you together in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's all of us.
Yeah.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made, and so am I. And anybody watching and listening is also fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. It says out of Psalms 139, verses 13 and 14. Of course, this show is dedicated to him. This is his show, and this is how it's going to be. We're unashamedly proud of that. And so this is his show, and that's the verse for the day. I created your innermost being. I knit you together in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. So the God we serve, case in point, what's today? Feb 18. He knew today I'd be sitting here with my Bristol Motor Speedway shirt on and ball cap. You'd be over there throwing down a soda pop from the local fast food. He knew it'd be snowing outside or whatever it's doing while we were still in our mama's belly. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's the God we serve. So anyway, that's the verse of the day. All right, so let's jump in and start talking sports. We're going to talk about A-Rod here in just a second. Made an apology. He's come back to the Yankees after a year absence. You're shaking your head. You're not. Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that one. We'll talk about that in just a second. Also, got a story here. This guy's going to be. I told you there's going to be a fall guy in this. What do they call it? Deflategate thing with the Patriots.
Yeah. Inflategate.
This cat's going to be a Deflategate.
Deflategate.
And this guy is 48-year-old Jim McNally. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb. A locker room attendant for the New England Patriots tried to introduce an unapproved special teams football in the last month's AFC Championship game, the same game at the center of the Deflategate allegations. One source said the attendant assigned to the officials' locker room, identified as 48-year-old Jim McNally, has been interviewed by investigators for Ted Wells. Brady's not going to take a hit for this, nor is Belichick. I'm telling you, I told you this the night of the Super Bowl. So
they're cowards.
Well, they're not.
I'm sorry, but they are.
They're not going to take the hit. They're putting somebody out there in front of them to take the bullets. I'm telling you.
And he didn't. What was the words? And he tried to introduce.
What this says?
Yeah. He tried to.
Tried to introduce an unapproved special teams football.
He didn't try. They did.
He did it. There you go. You got it.
Hang on.
You got it. Whoop. We got the sound effects. We're back. Sound effects are back.
Yeah,
Good.
we may have it here.
Hit
Here
it.
we go.
Hammer it right there. Thank you very much. So, anyway, Jim McNally, interviewed by investigators for Ted Wells, the attorney. The NFL hired last month to lead an investigation into allegations the Patriots intentionally used underinflated footballs on offensive plays. Now, 3 sources say McNally has worked Patriots games in the locker room for a decade, has been charged at the officials' locker room at Gillette Stadium since at least 2008. In the first half of the game, the sources say McNally tried to give the unapproved footballs to an alternate official who was in charge of special team footballs. Those footballs are known as kicking balls or K-balls.
Yeah, they're different.
Yep. To explain that, before every NFL game, footballs are inspected and measured by NFL officials in their locker room before they can be approved for in-game use. The K-balls are used for special teams and not by the offense of either team. So this guy tried to hand the official an alternate football. Are you kidding me?
He didn't try.
He didn't try. He did it.
And he did exactly what he was told to do.
Exactly. But I'm telling you, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and anybody else up on the front line, the marquee names of this organization, will not take the heat. This guy is going to be the one that's going to be theoretically or hung in effigy. He's going to be the guy taking the heat for this.
Oh, yeah, and we all knew it. I mean, they were talking about somebody on video moving, taking balls. There's a manager of some sort moving them down the hall or whatever. But anyways, no. These guys, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose a big wad if they can't find a scapegoat. And
they found one. 48-year-old Jim McNally. He's as good as me sitting in this chair. He's in deep doo-doo by the NFL, and so they're going to hammer him.
One more reason for me to endorse another team during the season.
What about those boys right there?
I don't know. I'm getting there.
The Raiders. Yeah.
They start winning.
Just like them anyway, whether they win or not. Don't count on that. Just like them.
Oh, man.
All right, so there's the latest from the Deflategate for the AFC Championship game. But it won't be Belichick and Brady taking the heat. They would have already done it, in my opinion, because he got up there on the podium and Belichick danced as good as any politician on those questions.
Well, they both
the week
did.
of the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, they played off on each other. He did it. I did.
Tom Brady laughed it off.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he had in his hand when he threw it.
There you go. So Jim McNally's the bad boy now. The Deflategate allegations, again, with the New England Patriots. Also, as we said, here's the quote, "I can only say I'm sorry." Days before Yankees report to spring training, A-Rod offers an apology for mistakes that led to a season-long suspension. Now, a lot of folks are saying hogwash, it's not sincere. The Yankees, he decided against holding a news conference ahead of his return to the team following a one-year absence. He issued a vague 5-paragraph handwritten apology yesterday for the mistakes that led to my suspension. Failed to provide any specifics about how and why he resumed using performance-enhancing drugs for at least the second stretch of his career. So,
second stretch of his career. I bet it's going to be a short stretch.
Yep. Rodriguez did apologize to team officials in person during a meeting at the ballpark on February the 10th. The Yankees, suggested, hey, Alex, why don't you hold a news conference before the start of spring training and offer the use of Yankee Stadium for that to happen? You can explain to everybody what went on. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. So,
because he, too, is a coward.
Well,
well, of course, he's not here. I can say that.
Yeah, he's a big boy there now.
Big boy.
Big boys. So you start throwing cowards around, be able to back it
mercy.
up. How big a boy are you, I reckon is what you're going to say. Hoping to overcome the suspension and a pair of hip surgeries. Rodriguez due to report to the Yankees on February the 25th and start workouts the following day. Interesting, he's had a lot of injuries. He's not played a full season since 2007, 8 years ago. The guy's 40 years old. What kind of season for a 40-year-old ball player, even the talents of A-Rod can you expect him to be able to do this year? You think he'll be?
No, he's not going to be 100%, and not even if he was 100%, the fans aren't going to be behind him like they used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to happen. He did again what he was told to do by his agent and his managers.
There you go.
Period.
Shell of a player, I would think, at 40. I mean,
yeah.
the guy, and at one point he was a heck of a ball player, no question. But
and there may be some legal issues too. The guy that supposedly provided him with the enhancing
drugs,
what do you want to call it?
Call them PEDs
steroids.
Is what they call them.
He got sentenced to 4 years in a federal pen.
Yeah.
So.
And so, they still want to know his involvement with the Biogenesis of America drug clinic. Rodriguez, by the way, admitted in court documents he used PEDs, PEDs.
PEDs.
So
sounds
performance
like something you put in a Pez
drugs.
Dispenser.
There you go. You're on it today. So anyway, he has apologized. Now the question is, what's his teammates going to say? Are they going to walk in and say everything's forgiven, or they're still going to be a little leery of this guy? If I come in after being out a year for doing something I did, and I, in essence, acknowledged I did in court, you going to be my buddy in the locker room? You're going to kind of be standoffish? How you going to treat me?
Well, how would you? I wouldn't. I mean, I'd just say, do your thing, I'll do mine, just leave me alone.
There you go. Well, there'll be some, and some will say, hey, I'm back, and they'll say, hey, we're glad you're back. I take full responsibility for the mistakes that led to my suspension for the 2014 season. I regret that my actions made the situation worse than it needed to be. To Major League Baseball, the Yankees, the Steinbrenner family, the Players Association, and you, the fans, I can only say I'm sorry. I accept the fact that many of you will not believe my apology or anything I say at this point. I understand why, and that's on me. It was gracious of the Yankees to offer me the use of Yankee Stadium for the apology, but I decided the next time I'm in Yankee Stadium, I should be in pinstripes doing my job.
That's about the only truthful thing he said.
Let's see, 2 more paragraphs. I served the longest suspension in the history of the league for PED use. The commissioner has said the matter is over. The Players Association has said the same. The Yankees have said the next step is to play baseball. I'm ready to put this chapter behind me and play some ball. Final paragraph says, this game has been my single biggest passion since I was a teenager. When I go to spring training, I will do everything I can to be the best player and teammate possible, even a spot on the Yankees, and help us win. Oh, earn a spot. I'm sorry. Last, see, I'm reading this out of the paper, out of the Times News, because they reprinted the apology. I will do everything I can to be the best player and teammate possible, earn a spot on the Yankees, and help us win. So,
well, let me retract something I said a second ago. Will he be effective as a player? Initially, I think it's going to be a tough road for him to hoe. But if he wants to win the fans back, and he is truthfully remorseful and wants to go out there and live his apology, he better get it in gear.
There you go.
He has all the motivation now to make it right. And if he does, and his performance on the field improves, he starts hitting those long balls and he starts making those defensive plays, the fans will come back around, and by the middle of the season, it'll be all under the water, under the bridge.
I was going to say, we as a culture are pretty forgiving folks.
Oh, yeah.
As time marches on, things begin to, the memories of a misdoing or a wrongdoing kind of fade. So I would think if he just goes out there and gives it 120%, I think the fans will forgive him. Of course, the media is going to hound him all the time, and that'll create more clubhouse drama. Like they don't need any more of that in New York. But
well, the sad state of affairs too is that he, despite what he's done, has been given another chance.
Yep.
If it was you or me,
no, not a chance.
We've been blacklisted and gone a long time ago.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's just, some people just get preferential treatment. I don't understand it. Just don't understand it.
I'm right there with you. Hey, make sure you like us on Facebook, thefacebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're podcasting now. You showed me a few minutes ago how you can go to the Stitcher app, and right there's the show. Tell me how we do that.
Stitcher.com. You can go there and sign in and listen to the podcast on your PC, or take your Android or iPhone, go to your respective Play Store or whatever, get your app, and Stitcher's there. Download the Stitcher app. You can make Tom Taylor Sports Show one of your favorites there through the app, and all three. Well, the 3 episodes we've uploaded are already in there. It was how long? 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah.
I had it
Boom.
up and playing.
It was there. Yeah.
Yesterday's show. So
there you go.
They're there, and we'll continue to be there. And we got word yesterday that iTunes has accepted us.
Woo.
So we'll be on iTunes shortly. As a matter of fact, we're probably there. Just got to go around the back door to get to it until they put us in the search field. But that will be a day or two from now, and you'll be able to go into iTunes, search Tom Taylor Sports Show as podcast, and we'll be there.
May I have some taters on that?
You can have some taters.
Thank you. iTunes. We're now on iTunes. So we're growing by day, and that's the name of the game. We're only on day 8 of this get-together. And, again, one of our great sponsors, getting ready to talk to you a little bit later on this morning or this afternoon now, Max Medicine Mart. And so we're very, very excited about the fact that we're rapidly approaching being on iTunes. That's big, isn't it?
That's big.
That's huge.
That's huge.
As Barney said, Andy, that's big. That's really big.
Yeah.
That's big, 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 big.
Stitcher's up and coming because it's basically a podcast type of app. It's a site developed to promote podcasts, and it's easy. I mean, it's so easy, it's unbelievable. So
coming up, we'll hear from Kevin Harvick again. The goals of 2015, of course, the reigning points champion, getting ready to crank it up and get going. The Daytona 500, true or false? Here's a trivia question: he has won the Daytona 500 before. Is that true or false?
Who?
Harvick.
Harvick?
Yeah.
False.
Would that be your final answer?
That's my final answer. Oh, jeez.
2007, he brought home the checkers. So.
I'm crying. I missed it.
Put on your big boy pants. It's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. But, yeah, he won it in 2007. He's the points champion from 2014, and we'll hear from him coming up. Before we go to the break, Tennessee, Kentucky, did the Tennessee Vols do what you thought they would do? Were they in over their heads? I didn't see any of the game. How did you watched some of it with Mrs. V? How would you rate the Big Orange performance against the number 1 team in the land?
I said yesterday that if Tennessee came out and played up to their level of expectation, and the level that they're capable of, and Kentucky overlooked Tennessee, that it would be a close game. And for the most part, it was for 75% of that game. Matter of fact, Tennessee had the lead in the first half, right before halftime, before they gave it up again. But there, about 7 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go in the game, Kentucky just kind of went into second gear and ended up winning by, 16 points, something like that?
18 points.
18, yeah. So
now the story goes that they, let me see how they said it. Yep, Tennessee shot 54% from the floor in the first half, shot just 25% in the second half.
Yeah, there you go.
3-point land, the Volunteers 2 for 17 from 3-point range, and 4 for 10 from the free throw line. So there's 2 Achilles heels there, 2 for 17 from 3-point land.
They were throwing them up, and they didn't need to. They did not need to because they were able to work the ball inside in the first half.
Would you? If they didn't need to, would you say then they panicked a little bit? They were jacking up threes and didn't have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think it goes to some of the players trying to take the whole game on their shoulders, and they didn't need to do that. If they played as a team, they might have had a different outcome.
So were you an A, B, C, or D grade the Tennessee Volunteer performance last night? You and Mrs. V are big Vol fans, so grade it
First half, I would give them a B+ to an A-.
Right.
Because they still had they could have done better.
Okay.
Second half, average, C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put them together, what do you got? C.
B-.
B- or C? Or B-. Okay.
B-.
All right. Anyway, Kentucky off to the best start since the 53-54 season, 25-0. They go into Knoxville last night and win it 66-48 over the Big Orange. And, again, Kevin Punter had 14, Josh Richardson 10 for the Volunteers, who fall to 14-11. 6-7 in the Southeastern Conference. I think they're now 2-5 at home against the SEC opposition. Quick break. We'll come right back, and we'll hear from Kevin Harvick getting ready to go racing at Daytona. By the way, there's practice sessions going on today at 2 and 3:15, tomorrow at noon, and, of course, tomorrow night will be the Budweiser Duels, the 60-lap, 150-mile races, 1 and 2 tomorrow night to set the rest of the field. And, of course, if you've been on a rock and or have not watched this show or heard this show over the last 3 or 4 days, on the front row, Jeff Gordon and, again, Jimmy Johnson, the Rick Hendrick Motorsport team on the front row for the 4th time. Hendrick Motorsports has started with the front row being from both of their drivers, from their stable. So quick break. We'll be right back. Again, we'll hear from Harvick and trudge on. By the way, all the basketball games in the region canceled again today due to the weather. I think it's probably a given the fact we're going to have some pretty cold temperatures tonight. So no hoops tonight around the region. It's all been put on, I could say put on ice. Couldn't I? Isn't that good?
Oh, hang on a second. Here we go. Hey.
Booyah, size says. By the way, I need to get something Duck Dynasty up here. I got to find something Duck Dynasty because I'm a huge fan of my boys down in Louisiana and the ladies and Miss K and all of them. So anyway, quick break as promised. We'll be right back. Kevin Harvick straight ahead. Thanks for being with us. You're watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Let's get it after the show. Messed it up. Maybe we send out a hello this afternoon to Hosey. David Holtzclaw, hello to Hosey, and hope all's well where he's at today. Also, Jeff Ward at Max Medicine Mart's got us on, and they're listening to us there at the pharmacy. Of course, Dr. Walton's going to be coming up here in just a few minutes. Hey, the thought for the day, how about this one? Brought to you by Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. You had to think about this. When I first read this to you before the show started, you went, a man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. Now, it says he cannot drift along with the crowd, nor can he pay attention to the crowd's response to his leading. Must remain focused, be willing to stand alone, must give himself to the few who are cooperating with him and not the masses who are looking on. The crowd's applause cannot be his goal or her goal. His or her goal must be to lead his orchestra with excellence. A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. That's the thought for the day. Thanks to Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance at 282-1389, the Big Easy. 282-1389, the number to call. And, of course, he's located in Johnson City there on Springbrook Drive, but he writes insurance all over East Tennessee, and Nationwide is on your side. Was Dale Earnhardt Jr., who did I tell you was the new spokesperson for Nationwide?
You didn't tell me, or did you?
Yes.
Okay, well, it went
Mrs. V's favorite football player.
Mrs. V. Oh, Mr. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning's the new spokesperson for Nationwide.
Well, yeah, had all them commercials there during the playoffs with him. So, yeah, I guess I can see that.
Yeah. Nationwide is on your side again. 282-1389, the number to call. Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, and they do a fantastic job. He brings you the thought for the day. Kevin Harvick, ready to go here. Again, nice interview. Got a chance to hear from Kevin Harvick. Again, talking about obviously he won it last year. What about new goals for this year, for 2015, for the number 4 team, the NASCAR reigning champion, Kevin Harvick?
Well, I think you always re-establish new goals. And I think when you're able to accomplish goals, that's very rewarding, but it also makes setting those new goals that are the same thing very realistic. And I think as you come into this year, knowing that you can do the things that we did last year is very rewarding, but it's also a great confidence builder for our race team and our guys and everybody that's still a part of the number 4 team. So we know we can thrive in those situations, and we know we can be successful in those situations. We know we can win races if we put all the pieces together correctly, and we've done all that. So, the first thing on the agenda is to try to win the Daytona 500, because it would be I know what it's like to have won this race and the experience that comes with it, and I would love to be a part of winning this race with this group of guys and the things that come with it. So it's easy to set new goals, and we all thrive on the competition. The competition is what drives us and really makes coming to the racetrack fun and exciting, is trying to beat the guys that are around you and next to you on a weekly basis.
Did you feel that was the one thing that
on your
to-do list?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a big one to check off the to-do list for sure. But still, in the end, it's really about competition. And now, the new goal is, okay, how do you go out and do that again and try to put the same things together, but they'll never be the same, just for the fact that it's a new year, it's new rules, it's new situations, and how do you overcome those? So it's always been fun to me to try to put the pieces together. The puzzle's always different, and the part that's intriguing to me is the fact that it's just like this off season. We've had a lot going on, but just try to fit as much in as possible with really managing your time and being able to be good at what we do and be a good champion and be progressing forward with your race team and being a part of it and being good parents and going out and living in a new place, because in the end we changed our whole life to try to accomplish everything that we did last year, and we were able to pull that off and in 3 years basically change everything that we've done. So that's very rewarding for all the people outside of Delana and myself, but everybody who's been involved in it.
Do you feel like people treat you differently now that you're a champion?
Obviously you get referred to as champ, and that's great and pretty cool. And when you look at the list of guys that have won a championship, it's pretty small. But I think as a guy who's been a part of the sport, for me, I think it was better that I won a championship a little bit later in my career, because I think I respect it a lot more and understand how hard it is to get to this point and really know the work and effort and how many people it takes to be a part of it. So, and this group of guys that I'm with Rodney and all the guys on my team, but really SHR in general, it's such a unique place to work and be a part of, and it's it's a group of racers, but it's so strange in an environment where you have hundreds of people to have everybody support and push and care about what the other one's doing in a very relaxed atmosphere, and it's just I know you guys have heard me talk about it, but to be a part of a team and see every piece of it pulling in the same direction and supporting the other, whether the chips are up or down, is something that is just so amazing to be a part of, that not everybody gets to be a part of. I mean, I owned my own race teams. I drove at RCR, and you always are trying to mix and match the pieces. But, it's just so different with what I have at SHR and on the number 4 team.
Kevin Harvick, again, good interview and interesting. He said he enjoyed winning the championship later in his career because he appreciates it more. And it is tough. You hear all these guys talk. It's tough to win a race every week, let alone win a championship for the season. So
yep.
All the pieces have to come into place. And, I mean, how many times guys are getting ready to win a race, never mind the championship, and something out of their control, the battery goes dead or this goes down, a spring goes out, something minute that a little tiny piece of the pie, if you will, that would keep you from winning a race. And then you look at the championship. Look at Gordon. Gordon was off. He was in position to get in a position to win it last year and had a had a wreck there late in the season. A guy wrecked him, and of course that. And then Kens and those guys had a little scrape up and little get together, you will, in the pits after the race. So a lot of stress, a lot of tension, a lot of little things have to go right for the big thing to work. In this case, win a race, or as he said, win a championship. So Kevin Harvick, appreciate his time. And so Harvick talking about, again, new goals for 2015. And he went on to say later in the interview that, everything's changed this year. New rules, new regulations, new changes NASCAR's made. So you kind of wipe the slate clean. What happened last year doesn't matter except to say you're champ. And so now you got to reprove yourself starting Sunday. So good interview. Again, the current points champion, Kevin Harvick. Again, they're practicing today at 2 and 3:15. Again, on the high banks of Daytona. And, again, reminding you about getting your tickets for the high banks of Bristol. Oh, boy, I love this. BristolTix.com, TIX.com, or go to 423 Bristol. Here's the ticket you want. There's a lot of different scenarios, I guess, packages. But here's the one that we keep telling you about. 3 days in April, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 days in August, Friday and Saturday, rather. $149 ticket. Plus, it puts you in the running for the Battle of Bristol tickets to, right now it's the only way you can get the football tickets, Tennessee and Virginia Tech in September of next year, is to get a ticket package going, season tickets at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that puts you in the running for that. And also puts you in the running for the Super Pass down on the track for the spring concert. The Old Crow Medicine Show's coming.
Yeah.
Two-time Grammy Award-winning group, but that, of course, their signature song is Wagon Wheel. That's what I was reading. And so their current, I was going to say album, there's not albums anymore, but CDs is Remedy. And it references, as picture Tennessee on there, I think it's Tennessee flag, and, of course, the song itself references Johnson City. So, anyway, Old Crow Medicine Show's coming. So, with that $149 ticket we were telling you about, you get 3 days in April, 2 days in August, access to buy tickets to the Battle of Bristol football game, and also get you access to get a Super Pass to be down on the stage side to watch the Old Crow Medicine Show before the running of the Food City 500 on April the 19th. And, again, how do you get those? Very simple. BristolTix.com or call them at 423-BRISTOL. Quick break. We'll be right back. Got the quiz show coming up next. We've got 2 on the Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance scoreboard. Can we put a 3 up there? We'll see.
Well, we'll give it a shot, right? Well, you will give it a shot, but
with help from Horace.
With help from me.
Horace help.
Now I know what you're doing. You're setting me up. So that if you don't get it, you're going to blame you. You're going to blame me.
I never thought of that. You can be my Jim McNally. You're the football dude. You're the guy that handed off his footballs to the officials. Won't be me.
I hear you.
I'll put it over on you. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with my man, Tom Weinmann from Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, asking me Elvis questions on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Wednesday, again, Feb 18, day number 8 of our Fun and Frolic. One of our great sponsors, Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, 323-8726. And let's go to the Vonies there. Tommy Weinmann's with us. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Oh, better than I deserve to be. Snowbound, unfortunately, and it's white outside right now. It's snowing like a mother out here.
Snowing like a mother. There you go. All right, now, true or false? I think you've told me before, snow and ice will really, the stripes on a parking lot and those little handicap blue insignias or logos, salt and snow, that'll make those fade out pretty quick, will they not?
The salt does a little bit, but what really it is the plows. The scrapers going over the top of it will try chipping it away and wearing it down, as well as the regular traffic. The sealer actually protects the asphalt from any type of defect in the asphalt.
So 323-8726, when this all clears out, and it's going to by, I think you're talking about rain now by the weekend, so this will all go away pretty quickly. And if you see that you need some stripes put down, 323-8726 would be the number to call. Did you send me a text yesterday and said you guys once put a smiley face somewhere in Johnson City on a parking lot?
We actually put it in a residential driveway. The lady asked if we could put a smiley face in there, and we painted a yellow smiley face. We had the circle template, and we drew a couple eyes and a smile on there, and to this day, it still is there. And I believe it's on, I think it's Watauga it's on in Johnson City. But I go by there all the time, and I always look to see if it's still there, and it's still there smiling away at us.
Horace, you used the services of Bracken, a year or so ago?
Yeah, been almost 2 years.
2 years ago. So there you go. There's a satisfied customer across the table from me, again, with Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. 323-8726. He would like to have stripes put down the edge of his driveway. Could you do that? Some bright yellow.
Like a runway, baby, and if you want, we'll put lights in it, too, so you can see where you're going.
Oh, can you embed some lights?
Yes. That's what he's saying. Make it runway lights. Mrs. V's incoming.
It'll look just like the Tri-City Airport.
Woohoo!
All right, so we got the quiz show going on. We'll play from the same guy I did yesterday. We're going to see if I can't get him a free oil change and free food from Vito's. Phil Hensley on the Facebook. And, again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And let's play for Phil Hensley. And these are all Elvis questions. Now, the Apester came up with these. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, you're going to get burned. There's no way you're going 5 for 5. I read these things, and I'm like, what the heck is she doing?
Okay. So this is a bad setup deal, right?
Oh, I think she asked me yesterday if some are easy and some are hard. I think it's fair, but you're going to have to think on these.
All right. True or false? Here we go. Question number 1, Elvis trivia. See how I can do on these.
True or false? Vernon, who is Elvis's dad, his middle name was Elvis.
No, that's false.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. That is false.
That is true.
Oh. Elvis
okay.
is...
Good. You should have used your lifeline maybe there.
I said that way too quickly. All right, so Elvis's daddy's middle name was Vernon Elvis Presley.
Was Elvis, yep. That's it.
All right, question number 2.
Question number 2. Elvis had a pet chimpanzee, and his name was Scatter.
His name was what, Scatter?
Scatter.
Did he have a pet chimpanzee? Elvis had a pet monkey, pet chimpanzee. I'm going to say, what the heck? I'm going to say true.
That is true.
Hey, avoided embarrassment. All right, question number 3. Go ahead.
Are we still there?
Yeah.
I'm still here, yeah. Question 3, go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, are you there?
Are you with me? I can just barely hear you.
I'm here, yeah, I'm right here. Go ahead. Question number 3.
All right, question 3. Elvis's favorite soda was Coca-Cola.
No, that's false.
I can't hear a thing from you.
Oh, how's that? Better?
Can you hear me now?
just barely, very faint.
Well, we're losing connection because I'm pumping him up.
Are you moving around in your home?
Nope, I'm sitting in the same place.
Yeah, that's the magic of a cell phone. I say Coca-Cola was not his favorite drink.
Did you say true or false?
Try it again.
I say false. That is not his favorite drink.
Correct. His favorite drink was Pepsi-Cola.
There you go. I'm 2 for 3. All right. Try it again. Go
nice
ahead.
And loud again now.
Thank you.
Question 4. Elvis received a letter from Uncle Sam while he was filming his movie King Creole.
Well, what was the letter? I mean, he got one from Uncle Sam filming the King. I'd say true.
Did you say false?
No, I said true.
He said true.
You're right then.
Good.
I'm trying to trip you up. Yeah, it's true.
I'm 3. Thank you. I'm 3 for 4. Go ahead.
And the last one. After Elvis and Priscilla were married, their first dance was to Love Me Tender.
First dance Elvis and Priscilla danced was Love Me Tender after they got married. I would say that is probably false. You probably sang the You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Really? It's true.
Was that right? Love Me Tender is true?
Love Me Tender is true.
All right, so I went 3 for 5. All right, but I didn't. There you go. Thank you.
Yay!
You're applauding. I'm going 3 for 5. Thank you. All right. So anyway,
It could have been worse.
There's the quiz show. Once again, Phil didn't win for him. Tough, but that was pretty good questions. And so just have the Apester keep pumping them my way. That's good. Now, we're talking to Tommy Weinmann, who's the biggest Kentucky Wildcat fan I know. Your thoughts on the game last night? How do you think the Wildcats played in Knoxville?
They played their typical. It seems like they stay with the opponent, whoever it is, in the first half, and in the second half they just wear them down, and that's when they really take over a game, just because they have so much depth. If Tennessee made just, a handful more of those three-pointers, it would have been a whole different ball game there. But they were, especially in the second half, they were just flopping them up there. I think they were just trying to score too quick, and they were flopping them up there, and they weren't making anything in the second half.
2 for 17 from three-point land. So now Donnie Tyndall said this Kentucky team may be the best team ever assembled. Do you agree with that?
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good you are if you're not the last one standing at the end of the year.
That's my point.
So to be even compared to it doesn't really matter. You can say all you want right now how great they are or how bad they are, but if they're not the national champions, it doesn't matter one way or another.
There you go. They haven't done anything yet to be given that kind of a compliment or accolade, I think. Switching gears, A-Rod coming back for the Yankees. Good or bad? What do you think about that whole deal?
I just think it's a big joke. Why should he be allowed back? I mean, he served his suspension, but the apology letter, it is what it is. People take it for what it is. I just think that's a whole big joke, though, myself.
There you go. So if you're a teammate of A-Rod and he shows up next week, do you embrace him? Do you stand off from him? Do you just kind of avoid him? What would you do?
I kind of keep my distance from him right now and just see what's going on. I mean, the guy's probably not taking him anymore. So, he hasn't been a jerk to anybody. He was just taking, a performance enhancer. So, unless somebody's really that much in the stats or whatnot, it's kind of, oh, well, you're back. That's great. If you make the team, that's great. If you don't, who cares?
I think it's a pretty safe conclusion he's going to make the team. I mean, this guy, I can't imagine bringing him back and they cut him. I think that'd be a real insult. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't think this guy's going to put fannies in the seats either to cheer him or boo him all around the ballparks this year. So I don't see A-Rod not making the New York Yankee baseball team. But
there's too much money with A-Rod.
You got it. Absolutely. And then the last thing, the Deflategate football. Jim McNally's been identified, the 48-year-old locker room attendant. Looks like he's going to be the fall guy for the Patriots, and so he's going to be investigated by the National Football League. What's your take on all that?
Oh, this was coming. You knew somebody was going to take the fall for him. Some guy. This guy will get fired, and then he'll have season tickets on the 50-yard line for the rest of his life somewhere.
This guy will write a book is what will happen. He'll make a TV movie and make millions over the Deflategate football allegation of the Patriots. But yeah, he's going to be the scapegoat and the fall guy.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
And then last but not least, tell me about Kevin Harvick. And we just heard from him. The guy said he appreciates the championship, winning it later in his career. I thought that was a pretty cool statement.
I've watched you again.
All right. So
Have you got me back? Have you got him back now?
Are you there?
I can just barely hear you again. I'm sitting in the same place.
Yeah. We're having telephone issues.
Cell phones. That's what happens on an old cold wintry day. But what was your take on Harvick's statement that he liked winning the championship later in his career?
If you're asking me about Harvick, which I think you are, I love the interview. I think that's a really good assessment about winning the championship later and later as you get older, because you do appreciate it more. You understand what it takes. Usually when they come in, they're young hotshots and they're just out there for the fame and fortune of it. They don't really understand what it is to win the thing. But as you get older, you really understand that it's a chance of a lifetime to win that thing.
There you go. It's not easy to do, and he's done it, getting ready to defend his crown. Tommy, thank you, my friend. Stay warm. I hope you get out of your driveway soon, and we'll talk to you next week, all right?
You got it. Thank you, sir. Have a great show.
All right, good man right there. Appreciate him very much, Tom Weinmann. And, again, sometimes cell phones don't jive, and it's just the way it is, and sometimes they do jive. But, anyway, that's the latest, and we went 3 for 5 with Elvis questions, and one of those you shook your head on. I didn't do well. The one of them you thought I should have gotten, which one was it? Oh, the Love Me Tender.
Love Me, yeah. I mean, come on.
I said, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Their first dance together.
No, it was the King Creole.
Oh, King Creole.
Because that was about the same time he would have got his draft letter.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't do well on that one at all. No, you shook your head over there. But you could have. So you kind of left me out there. You could have said, "Hey," you could have whispered and said, "No." You didn't. Of course, you were out there trying to keep the phone rolling. You were having some little technical difficulties with the old cell phone. It happens. So
every time we get a loud pop, I know. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is what it is. We'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll check in with Dr. Barry Walton. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And, again, how can we find us later on today on podcasting?
Well, at the end of the day, we'll send up the show as episode number 4. And if you have the Stitcher app on your phone, you can go to Stitcher. And episode 4 should be there by the end of the day. Or you can go to iTunes, hopefully here in the near future. Find our podcast on iTunes.
And also coming up on the show a little bit later on, we'll be checking in with Greg Salyer talking about the Reds and the Reds report. Also, we got Joey Logano talking about Chase Elliott and what it's going to do for him to be in the Jeff Gordon car next year and come back and defend his crown in the Xfinity Series this year. We'll hear from Logano. Also, we'll hear from Knoxville's very own Trevor Bayne about 2015. And also later on, my man, Rowdy, Kyle Busch. We'll hear from him. Talk about his race win goals. As he sit down with the team and kind of set a goal for how many times he wants to win in 2015. So we'll hear from all three of those gentlemen between now and the 3 o'clock hour. We'll be right back with more. You are watching. We appreciate you being with us. The Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
I'd never be a cheerleader. Nah, I wasn't too good. I was over flailing, looked like a
dancing away.
Oh yeah, I'm a dancing machine. That's it, boy from West Virginia. Welcome back to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, Facebook. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and it's growing each and every day. Also podcasting. One more time, tell us how we can check out the show later on today by way of podcasting
through Stitcher. That's an app on your smartphone. Download the app and search for the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll be there. Our episodes go up at the end of the day every day. And now on iTunes.
There you go.
And here in the next day or two, 24 hours or so, you'll be able to search iTunes and find the Tom Taylor Sports Show as a podcast.
That's awesome. And so hello to Captain Drew. I want to say hello to Captain Drew today. He's our buddy, one of our team members here, and appreciate everything he's doing along with Horace across the way. Let's go to the phone. He's our buddy, Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Doing very well, Tom Taylor. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic. A-Rod's coming back. What's your take on that real quick? A-Rod's come back to the Yankees after a year-long suspension. Would you be embracing him as a teammate? Would you be avoiding him? What's your take about him coming back?
This isn't his first rodeo. I don't think I'd be embracing him. I live with a Yankee fan, and she has a real issue with him. So I do too.
There you go. So do you think he should be able to come back, I guess is the obvious question, in your humble opinion?
Well, you look back at the history of Major League Baseball, and everybody except Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe probably got second chances. There's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that had drug issues. Darryl Strawberry is in there, and he had second, third, and fourth chances. So I'm not against giving people more chances, but when they keep throwing it in your face, I have a little bit of an issue with it. I do hope that he this time will get on the straight and narrow and play by the rules.
There you go. Again, he'll be reporting on the 25th. He came out with an apology. It was kind of a little lame, but anyway, he's back and he's in the fold. And at 40 years old, I mean, you've been around sports a long time. At 40, 2 hip surgeries and of course the suspension, how effective would it be safe to say this guy may be a shell of the player he used to be?
I really do think so. I mean, he has been through so much already, and people don't realize how much those hip surgeries can affect an athlete. I mean, the torque he has to produce to get that bat around and to put the power behind it, it's an incredible amount of pressure. So it's going to be interesting to see. And that year off, it's his timing is going to take a while to get back in. It's going to be a very interesting process just from pretty much an anatomy and physiology point, much less from the sports point of view. But it's going to be interesting to see how he responds after that layoff. Of course, we saw what Peyton Manning did, and it didn't seem to faze him too much after he got back into it.
That's true. So I guess different folks we'll see. And we're talking to Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart, one of our great sponsors, and he joins us every Wednesday at this time. Isoflex stress balls. You've got them, so if I'm worked up and stressed out, you've got them. Tell me about that at Max Medicine Mart.
Tom, these are great little stress balls. They fit in the palm of your hand. It's like almost like a balloon, but it's got a substance inside that gives you a good deal of resistance, and that's what's very good. It's actually called Stress Relief with an Attitude, and it's got a little picture of a little dude on the stress ball. This one in particular that I'm squeezing on right now says, "Leave me alone." So, and then you turn around on the other side and it says, "Let's party." So that's the change in the attitude that you can do. But it's a great way of, especially, people don't realize how much stress even a snow day can build up. And, of course, now we're seeing, parents having to stay home with kids for a whole week in some areas. So, that can cause some stress. And instead of taking it out on your kids, which is sometimes a natural reaction, or sometimes with them taking it out on you, these stress balls are something you can just kind of walk around with, squeeze, and kind of it'll kind of let the frustration and the tension flow out of your body. So this is a good way of doing that. The Isoflex stress balls in the middle aisle here at Max Medicine Mart.
Can you put anybody's picture on there?
Absolutely. That's what we need to do. We need to get in the market for that. Just be able to have certain people's pictures put on these stress balls, and then we could make them mint. That's a good idea.
Is there a reference to me by chance, or just to people in general?
No, people in general, of course.
Okay, yeah, right, smooth. So the Isoflex stress ball would be a really cool thing, and folks get stressed out for different reasons. They can get one of those or multiples, and They're available at Max Medicine Mart. Also, the Badger product line. That's something you sell a lot of. Tell me about the Badger product line for Max Medicine Mart.
Well, Tom, that's right. The Badger products are really great because they still have kind of maintained the old style of the tins. And that's I really like the tins that the Badger products come in, and they've got things. They've been around for a few years now. I think they started back in 1995 or something like that, and they've done a really good job of making natural and certified organic products that do a good job. They've got one that's a sore muscle rub, and the one that I have right here, it's 100% natural, and they call it the cooling blend. And you look at it, and it's got actually the base is extra virgin olive oil. They've got beeswax in there, but they also have some menthol crystals and some essential oils of clove and eucalyptus and camphor and peppermint. So you can tell why it would be a cooling formula. But that's really good for some muscles. As I found out yesterday, Tom, I actually got industrious and went out and shoveled the driveway. And I can tell it. I'm a little bit older than A-Rod. I'm not 40, but I'm a little bit older than that. But it's still, those muscles don't snap back like they used to. So that Sore Muscle Rub by Badger is a great little product. Less than $10, so it's a great deal too. Also, Badger has a sleep balm, and it's a lavender-based product. And a lot of folks like to use that as well. You just put a little bit on your temple, on your face, your neck, and you can even put it on your lips as a lip balm. And, you can use that, and it will actually induce some sleep. So that's a good thing as well, and another organic product. And then they've got the aromatic chest rub, and this is the one that a lot of folks use. It's basically a eucalyptus-based product, so it's got eucalyptus and mint in it, certified organic. We've got a smaller size on this one, is less than $6. So, but it's got a lot of essential oils, the eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender, tangerine, tea tree as well, rosemary. So it's a very good little product. You just, put it on your chest and breathe comfortable and rub it in. And, of course, I think a lot of folks grew up with different kinds of chest rubs growing up. This right here kind of takes you back in time, if you will. But it's a good way to sleep and keeps your nasal passages open with all those essential oils. So it's a great way of doing things. And they also have another product that Badger's come out with, an aromatherapy-based product called Cheerful Mind Balm. And that's to delight and uplift the spirits is how that one's marketed. So it's a sweet orange and spearmint. So it's pretty much just rub a layer. You can put it on your wrist, temples, forehead, and under your nose and breathe that in. And that will help the Cheerful Mind Balm. So that's a good product by Badger, and all those in the good food section in the middle section here at Max Medicine Mart.
We're talking to Dr. Barry Walton, one of our great sponsors, joins us every week. Coming up, we'll be hearing from Joey Logano and Trevor Bayne and Kyle Busch, getting ready for the Daytona 500 this weekend. We'll hear from them. Also, Greg Salyer from the Reds Report. We'll be hearing from them as well coming up here in a few minutes. Get a Cincinnati Reds Report. Dr. Walton, Natural Factors, 20% off the month of February at Max Medicine Mart. And tell me what's flying off the shelves right now here in the middle portion of the month of February.
Well, Tom, I can tell you, what we're seeing more and more of is with all this snow and stuff that we're having, people are coming in with joint issues. They're just not moving as flexible as they have been in the past. Natural Factors has a product called Osteo Move, and it's extra strength joint care, and it's one of the glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM formulas. So it's a very good product. You just take 2 tablets a day. A lot of folks like that because some of the products will have you taking multiple tablets every day. But the MSM actually stands for methylsulfonylmethane. And so if you have a sulfur allergy, you wouldn't want to take this. But otherwise, a very good way and a time-tested way, actually. There's a lot of science behind the Natural Factors products. And, of course, we've always talked about how much we like that. But it's also got boswellia and turmeric in there as well. So it's a great formula for helping people increase their range of motion and their joint care. So the Osteo Move, we're seeing a lot of that, especially, like I said, Tom, yesterday, all the snow shoveling and stuff we're going through. Probably be doing that again, by the way it looks outside sometimes. But the other things we're seeing move, especially through the Natural Factors line, are things that help relieve stress or help induce sleep. You know, a lot of folks are having issues with that, and of course snow can actually have an issue with that too, because when you look outside, it can actually appear to be brighter than it normally is at different times of the night because of the snow. And especially if you live near a place that has like a street light, that reflection can actually almost reset your clock internally, and it can interfere with your sleep. In that regard, they have a great product called Tranquil Sleep. It's got 5-HTP, sun-theanine, and melatonin. So it's a combination product that has shown great results. It's actually what they call an advanced fast-acting formula. So, and those are in a chewable tablet. And we've also got the Pharma GABA. The GABA is always been known to help people relax, reduce the stress, kind of have a little bit of a mental calmness. And the good thing about the Pharma GABA is they've got either the chewable tablets, and some people prefer the capsules. So we've got them both ways. And if you do prefer the chewable tablets, we've got it in a really small 10 to a bottle. So if you wanted to try those out, that would be a good way of doing that to see if it helps reduce stress. And I've actually taken those before, and it seems to do a very good job. So I was very impressed with that. And it's natural, so that's a good thing as well. But the Pharma GABA is a great way to reduce stress. Another way to do that is the sun-theanine, which is actually an amino acid, the L-theanine, and that helps with mental calmness and relaxation as well. The Natural Factors line, Tom, is actually recommended, and some of the formulas are actually put together by a Canadian physician, Dr. Michael Murray, has a great reputation in the natural world. So these are some of the products that he's come out with. And then, of course, you know, with the Tranquil Sleep, the sun-theanine, the Pharma GABA, those are things you can do to reduce the tension in your life, get a good night's sleep, and that can make you a different person the next day. I think we've all seen in the past when we don't get a good night's sleep, it's very easy to be a different person that next day. So these are things that kind of help you be a better person by making sure you get a good night's sleep and reduce that stress that's in your life. And that's in the good food grocery section here at Max Medicine Mart.
Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart. All this and more is available. They're open 7 days a week. And as always, we'll wrap things up. Give me the hours you're open at Max Medicine Mart.
Tom, Monday through Friday, we're usually here. Now, with the snow, it's been a little bit different, but we're usually here Monday through Friday from 8 until 7, Saturdays 8 till 6, and Sundays 1 to 5. But I will tell you, with all the doctor's offices closing, as they have been lately, and a lot of the doctor's offices also go with the Kingsport City School system. Of course, they've been closed this week. So it's best just to call to make sure of our hours until this passes. But otherwise, we're usually just right here like clockwork, and we're always here 7 days a week. We don't take a day off. So you can come on in, and we can help you out with anything that you need, whether it be prescription medications or in the good food grocery section or in our durable medical equipment section. Make tracks to Max.
Make tracks to Max. Great report, my friend. Stay warm, and hey, we'll talk to you next week, all right?
I look forward to it, Tom Taylor. You take care, brother.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Our buddy Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart again. Make tracks to Max, and you do, on Center Street in Kingsport. Appreciate that. Open 7 days a week. Coming up, Joey Logano, Trevor Bayne, Kyle Busch. We're talking NASCAR. Also, Greg Salyer talking Reds baseball. All that straight ahead. Couple little tidbits I want to hit you with before we go to the break. Southern Conference selecting East Tennessee State's Destiny Mitchell as the player of the week last week. Again, she had a double-double average of 11 points and 16 boards against Western Carolina and UNC Greensboro. Destiny Mitchell, 33 double-doubles in her ETSU career. That's pretty strong.
That's strong.
Oh, yeah. And a new football coach at Tri-Cities Christian School. A friend of mine saw this where they've been announced that they've hired Tom Williams, the coach of the Golden Eagle football team. 4-year letterman at Dobbins Minute. Has previously coached at Ross and Robinson in Kingsport, Sullivan Middle School, Sullivan North High School, and at Dobbins Minute. So Tom Williams, the new football coach for the Tri-Cities Christian Golden Eagle football team. So that's good news for the Golden Eagles looking for a coach, and they got one in Tom Williams, who's got some experience at coaching, and I look for him to be very successful at Tri-Cities Christian Schools. Quick break. We'll be right back. Talk a little Reds best ball. Spring training right around the corner. And again, straight ahead, Joey Logano, Trevor Bayne, Kyle Busch coming up right here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
What, you're not going to dance this time? You're on camera.
Oh. Was that the swim?
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe this will be the way, through the snow. There you go. Welcome back to Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this day 8 of our get-together. And we talk Reds baseball because up on this wall is a Reds pennant. Of course, right behind us is the cross. And we dedicate this show to him, of course. It's his show. And so that's why we're here. The verse of the day is Psalm 139, 13 and 14. I created your innermost being. I knit you together in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. And so we all are fearfully and wonderfully made because he hung up on the cross for us. And so this show is his show. That's who we dedicate it to. And having said that, let's go to the phone. He's there, our buddy Greg Salyer, the pastor at Southwestern Baptist Church in Johnson City. Major Reds fan. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm great, Tom. How about you?
Just fine, sir. Thanks for checking in with us for a few minutes. Before we get into the Reds, how about A-Rod? He's back. Sent a handwritten 5-paragraph apology to the fans and to everybody. Should this guy be back? What's your take on Alex Rodriguez?
Wow. You know, Alex, I got to see him play once in person several years ago when he was still even with Seattle. Impressive player. I mean, the guy has put up numbers through the years that have just been phenomenal. Of course, how much of that was PED induced, we don't know. But, it'll be an interesting year for him after having a year off and, of course, having to deal with injuries and all the other things that he had to deal with even before that. The fans are going to give him a hard time, I think. Other teams, especially when they go on the road. I can just imagine what it's going to be like in Boston for him. But, let him play and see what happens. I believe in grace and see what happens. He's 40 years old and he's not got much longer left to play. So I'll be real interested to see what kind of numbers he puts up this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking the guy's had 2 hip surgeries and now a year off of suspension. Your timing's off. Everything's you got to be kind of a half step behind everybody else for 2 reasons. Number one, you're 40, and number 2, you've been out a year. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes back or he's kind of a shell of the player he used to be. But time will tell when the Yankees come into camp, and they'll be in there on a week from today. The camp report to spring training for the New York Yankees. Cincinnati Reds open spring training a week from today. Looking for some rotation, some starters in the rotation, I should say. Latos is gone. Alfredo Simon's gone. What's your take since we talked last week? What's going on in the Reds camp?
the Reds. One of the guys that I talked about last week about being in the rotation, Iglesias. They're not really mentioning him a whole lot. They're looking more at Holmberg. David Holmberg, who pitched a couple of games with the Reds last year. Anthony DeSclafani, who was one of the pitchers that they received in the Matt Latos deal from the Marlins. I think he's probably going to be a candidate for one of those rotation spots as well. Another guy that made a spot start or two last year for the Reds was Dylan Axelrod, former White Sox player that looked fairly impressive last year. I would like to see them give him a chance in spring training as well. And pitchers and catchers are there now, so they're showing up today, and we'll see what happens.
Iglesias, by the way, signed a 7-year, $27 million deal last June. He defected from Cuba back in November of 2013 and worked out for Major League Scouts in '80. And so he is a candidate, the right-hander, Raziel Iglesias. I'm saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, 7-year, $27 million deal last June for a guy that's basically untested. Obviously, he was successful where he was, but he's not done much, obviously, in the big leagues yet. And so they're going to kind of see how he develops. Also, Tony Cingrani, 2-8 last year, a 4.55 ERA and 11 starts, sidelined by a sore shoulder. How much stock can you put or weight can you put on Tony Cingrani?
Cingrani's a bulldog. He's going to battle through anything that comes his way. He's tough as nails, and I'm anxious to see what he can do if he is well this year. I don't know if you heard the news, but one of the Reds relief pitchers as well, Sean Marshall, has had a little setback in his recovery. We've not heard much from him in the last couple of years. Just a terrible attempt at a comeback last year, and then more shoulder issues. And then they announced today that he has had a setback in his recovery from his shoulder issue as well. So Cingrani, I think it will be right there in the battle for one of those starting spots. I think he probably, after hearing what Brian Price has said about him, will probably have one of the front row seats to get one of those spots.
Talking to Greg Salyer again, the pastor at Southwestern Baptist Church, who also is a major Reds fan. So they're there today. First workout's tomorrow. First full squad workout will be on the 24th. So do you get brownie points when you show up early if you're a player? I mean, today's the volunteer day, or are they all supposed to be in camp today in Cincinnati?
Well, pitchers and catchers today, and the other guys can show up. I believe it's maybe Friday or Saturday, maybe even Sunday. I think Sunday's physical day for the Reds. But, I'm sure some of those guys, it wouldn't hurt for them to show up a day or two early and get in some work before the other guys show up.
Yeah, they lost 86 games last year. They should be there as soon as the doors open, I think, to kind of get going and get focused on the upcoming season. So, anyway, the Reds, again, breaking camp or in camp today, I should say, and they're training in Goodyear, Arizona. How much stock do you put on exhibition baseball games? They play a lot of them before they break camp to come to Cincinnati. They play too many, not enough. What's your take on spring training games?
At the beginning, you can't really place any stock in it at all. I mean, they're not really even trying to win some of those early games, and maybe even at the end as well. They're trying to work on certain things, trying to get their pitchers to work on different pitches, perhaps. And there was I think it was about 5 years ago, the Reds had the best record in spring training, but then was terrible when the season started. So you really can't put a lot of focus on spring training records. Just look and see how the guys are playing, I think, is more important than the record of the team.
There you go. Before I let you go, tell us the sermon theme this Sunday. What are you going to be preaching on?
Well, we're in the middle of a 5-part series on John 3:16. So this week we are in the third of those sermons, and going to be looking at that he gave his only begotten Son.
There you go. And he did, up on this cross over my shoulder. So that's what it's all about. And, again, you can watch those. The weather's kind of iffy. You can watch them on live stream. Is that correct?
That's correct.
There you go. Livestream.com. Just type in Southwestern Baptist Church, and boom, booyah, there it is. So, hey, stay warm, and we'll save the horror stories for next week. I want to get some more horror stories about your all's trip to the big league ballpark last year when he had a batting helmet full of jalapenos and nachos and 2 Polish sausages in like 42 minutes. So I want to.
Yeah. He's digging.
Oh yeah, we've got more stories than just the nachos.
There you go. Hey, have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. All right.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yep. Super job again. Big Reds fan, and so the Reds are in camp. So wonder what it's like in Goodyear, Arizona today. I guarantee it ain't. Ain't. Listen to that. I guarantee it's not 20, 21 degrees, whatever it is. So
now I'd say it's nice and
toasty,
comfy, peachy.
Yeah.
Toasty, peachy, whatever.
By the way, we need to have a picture. Your guys smoke.
So yeah,
we got to get something up here for smoke. We'll put smoke up there somewhere.
We got to get Tony up there.
Yeah, your boy Tony Stewart. Let's listen in on Joey Logano again. Joey being asked again about Chase Elliott. In case you missed it a couple of weeks ago, Elliott, who won the NASCAR Xfinity Series championship a year ago, has been awarded awarded the seat for Jeff Gordon coming up next year, and Gordon steps away from Rick Hendrick Motorsports. And so Joey Logano was asked about Chase Elliott and what he thinks about this young man coming up into the quote-unquote bigs of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
The pressure is that you're jumping in with a team that's proven itself and a car that can go fast. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to jump in and what worked for Jeff is going to work for Chase. I mean, it's most likely it's 2 different things. It's going to be, Chase might want something different. Chase might communicate different, and crew chiefs and drivers might not mesh. There's not a 100% chance that's going to work. You know what I mean? There's definitely a chance that doesn't work. And what he does have going for him is he has a great group around him. He's got his dad that's been through all of this before. He's got a great group around him with Hendrick. So I think he's going to be fine for sure. He's going to have some more experience than I did going into it. I had a half-year nationwide saying, I don't know what I'm doing, and he's going to have a better idea of what he needs, I think, when he gets to that point. So I think that's good. For me, it took me a couple years to figure out what I needed before I can start making changes to get what I want. And I think, he's going to have a better idea of what he needs so he can start making those changes as needed. And, and I'm sure he'll do fine. Like I said, he's got a good support group. He's got a lot of experience. He's been in this racing world for his whole life. So I think he's going to do fine.
Thank you.
Yep.
How many different guys do you think could win this 500?
What's that?
How many different guys could win this 500?
I believe there's 43 different ones. Did we change that rule this year too? No one told me that part, but to me, the Daytona 500, anyone can win it. But that doesn't mean it's not the same guys up there every year that are racing for this thing too. It's not an accident that you see, whether it's Harvick or Jimmy or Jeff Jr., Brad's pretty good at it. It's not an accident that, Matt Kenseth are the guys that I look at as the best speedway racers out here. And it's not an accident they're up there challenging for wins. Denny, that are up there running for wins every time. There's some guys that get up there by chance and by luck, and they can hang up there for a little bit. But when you look at the guys that are good, are the ones to me that are, when they fall back, they work their way back up. This pack drafting is just so different than, what we did, a few years back when we were tandeming and we can all, work our way up. It's a totally different strategy and the way they go through this. And, their whole team goes into that. It's not just the driver. Their spotter is equally as good as them, and it matches up perfectly for them to be able to go out there and make the moves and have the right information. And basically, you need to see it happening a half a straightaway or to a straightaway before it happens, which is a challenge for both the spotter and the driver. And communicating that is tough. That's why there's some guys better at it than others. To me, I feel like it's one of the areas that I need to work on, and my team and I need to work on together to become better. Not saying we don't have a shot at it. I still feel like we have a great shot at it, but I think we've been working over it. We're talking about this a lot over the offseason, getting ready for the Daytona 500. And, we know last year we didn't get a top 10 at a Speedway. So that's not a secret, and we'll try to be better at it this year.
Yeah, that would be Joey Logano. And I thought it was interesting. He was talking about the guys who run up front. He's got 5 or 6 guys he named that feel like that they would have a better than everybody else shot to win it. You consider him one of the premier drivers. He won 5 last year on the circuit, and would you equate him now in the young career, kind of young career he's got? He's been around for a couple of years, but would you would you call or define Joey Logano as one of the superstar drivers?
I think I would. He's a good driver. He's getting better every year.
Yeah,
he's getting more mature, and I think next 2 or 3 years, you better watch out. I think he's going to get him a championship.
Yeah, five wins, I believe it was last year, and of course one of those, the night race at Bristol, Urban Tools night race, he brought home the checkers to win that one. So he'll be there ready to go. They are practicing as we speak. They have 2 and 3:15 practice times today, 2 o'clock and 3:15, and then back tomorrow at noon for the final time for the Budweiser Duels. Again, all this going on at Daytona International Raceway. I have right here for you, Horace.
Uh-oh.
I have the Grand Marshal, we told you, for the Daytona 500 is Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
All right. The honorary starters are the United States women's national soccer team. Will be the honorary starters. I guess they'll be the ones giving the command to drivers start your engines as a group. The national anthem being sung by Philip Phillips. Have
Never
no clue.
heard of him.
No clue.
Philip. You know,
here we go.
Can they not take a lesson from Bristol?
Exactly.
I mean, that's not what people want to. I mean, yes, it's going to probably be one of the premier race car events that is watched on national television.
Yep.
Right? And because of that, they need to put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say. And they're not doing it.
Vince Vaughn, Grand Marshal? Nah.
And they want to know why they're losing fans.
Yeah. Philip Phillips singing the national anthem. I don't know if that's a group. I would assume it's a guy. I don't know anything about him. Do you know anything about Philip Phillips?
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Now, they're probably going to, if you played me a song or something, I might recognize it.
Yeah.
But if I don't recognize it, can't put a face with a song, I'm sorry. It's not there.
I mean, there's a SCAD, a host of people you could use to sing the national anthem. Not this guy's, I assume it's a guy. Not that this performer is not any good, but Philip Phillips will be singing the national anthem on Sunday. You're exactly right. They need to take a lesson from the folks at Bristol Motor Speedway for sure.
I'm looking him up.
There you go. That's what I thought. I saw those eyes glaze over, and I thought, Horace is on it over there. He's looking
All right,
up.
here we go.
All right.
Philip Phillips is an American singer-songwriter who won the 11th season of the American Idol in 2012.
See, that's my bad because I never watched that show.
Yeah,
so
me too.
He won the American Idol. Philip Phillips will be singing the national anthem.
But what has he done since?
I don't know.
I guess that's what I'm thinking.
What season are they in? Is this like a recent winner, the 11th winner?
American Idol season 12. That was back in May of 2012 when he won that. So 13, 14. I mean, that's almost 3 years ago.
A couple of years back.
Yeah.
Philip Phillips will be singing the national anthem. He won the American Idol, so he has done something.
He has done something.
Not much that I know because I don't watch American Idol, but we'll give him proper credit then. Maybe he can wow us. Who's the young lady came out? Carrie Underwood. She came out of American Idol, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that lady can flat sing. If you go on there and what was it told you? Oh, How Great Thou Art. Go to YouTube and type in Carrie Underwood, How Great Thou Art, and sit back.
She got married and had a child, and her whole demeanor and outlook on life has changed.
There you go.
For the good.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. It'd be cool someday to bring her up to the good old BMS.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right. She's changed her lifestyle and got things together.
She was in Greenville last summer.
Yes, she was for the
wedding.
wedding. For Kim Perry's wedding, the band Perry. Anyway, Philip Phillips will be singing the national anthem on Sunday right before the Great American Race. And let's see, we need to take a break. Nope, let's go ahead and run one more here.
You would do that to me.
Yeah,
okay, that's
and
fine.
we're going to talk about the young man who, all right, true or false, Trevor Bayne has won the Daytona 500. Is that true or false?
He did.
He did. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it. 2011, Trevor Bayne from Knoxville brought home the checkers. And here's Trevor Bayne talking about what's going to be happening, the goals he's setting, and looking ahead to racing full-time in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in 2015.
Well, it's crazy to think my dream's finally coming true. You know, this is the year where I get to do what I've always wanted to do and be a Sprint Cup driver full-time. So to think about that, it's a pretty wild feeling. And to know I'm driving for Jack Roush and his 6 car, and we have one sponsor on the car every single weekend, that's I couldn't paint a much better picture.
That's good. And just talk about 2015 in general and how you feel this season's going to go.
Well, I feel really confident about this season, really having the experience behind me with Bob Osborne and some of the other guys on our team, with the new guys coming into Roush, trying to change that culture a little bit and really focusing on what we can do with these race cars to make them more competitive, I feel that we're making big gains. So I'm excited about that, and I can't wait to see what we can do once we get to places like Atlanta and Vegas and Phoenix and other racetracks that aren't necessarily all about timing and not being in the big one like here at Daytona.
A lot of young guys coming in, obviously a good crop of young guys, and you're not exactly an old guy, but you've been there a little while, at what, 21 now?
Yeah, I've been here since I was that age, but I'm 20, going on 24 this week, so I'm getting older, man. I actually aged, believe it or not, but it's crazy to think, honestly, that I've been around the NASCAR Top 3 Series for the last 4 or 5 years. So to have driven for the Wood Brothers for that long, for over 50 races, to have gotten that experience at the Cup level, I think that's really going to help me going into this season. Even though it's my first year at the Cup level full time, I've gotten that kind of experience, and I think that's going to help me a lot going into this.
And what's your best advice to all those young guys coming in?
To the young guys, I think just, you got to be humble and keep your eyes open when you're here. I think when you come in, you feel like you know it all, even though you want to act like you don't feel that way, you still feel that way. And I still have a lot to learn, and I wish I would have been more of a sponge than I was when I first got into this sport. And I think there's just so much to learn, especially young guys that are coming off of short tracks. When you get to these 1.5 miles and restrictor plate races, it's way different than anything you've done growing up. So you just got to absorb as much as you can and lean on your teammates and people around you that are a little smarter than you are at a young age.
Trevor, you had good equipment with Wood Brothers when you came here and won. You have better equipment with Jack Roush. What are your expectations for next weekend?
Well, I think that we had as good of equipment with the Wood Brothers as anywhere, but I think Daytona is not necessarily about equipment. It's about being in the right place at the right time, keeping yourself out of trouble, and having enough friends that'll push you to the win at the end and not root you out. This race is one of the hardest races to win, and it's also, when you do win, it's not because it was I guess it's easy when you do win too, because for me in 2011, it's not like I was a better race car driver than anybody else out there. I was just in the right place at the right time, and I was really blessed to have won that race. But also, like I said before, it can be very hard. So it's just I don't know. This is a very different race than any other race that we go to.
Now moving forward to Atlanta, Keith, new setups, new cars, new team. How do you expect your progress when we get into the real season?
Well, I think that, it's going to take a little bit of time of working together, of getting in a rhythm, being there every weekend to figure out what I need in these race cars. They're a new car. We haven't got to test at all. It's my first time working with Bob Osborne, and Roush Fenway has a lot of changes going on. So I think our expectations have to stay realistic these first few weeks. Not saying that we couldn't go run top 10 at Atlanta, but I think if we expect to go there and just win just because, it's going to be tough to do. We can do that, and we should have that mindset, but it's going to be a work in progress, I think, until midsummer.
Yeah, that's Trevor Bayne out of Knoxville, a great young man, good Christian young man, and winner of the 2011 Daytona 500. He's one of the guys that tomorrow we'll hear from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's one of the guys that's trying to get the Roush Fenway Racing stable back up and running to where it once was. You look at those guys; they've lost Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth over the last 3 or 4 years. That's pretty big losses.
Yeah, they are.
And they both, of course, end up with Joe Gibbs Racing. So now they got Stenhouse, they got Biffle, and they've got, of course, Trevor Bayne. Those are the big three in the camp for the Roush Fenway Racing. So they're putting a lot of stock in Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Both have not done a whole lot yet. So these are up and comers.
Neither one of them have really driven a full ride and haven't really had a chance to prove their wares. We know Trevor can drive. I mean, when you win the big dance, that's pretty good feather in your cap.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how he said it too. He said, "You're not necessarily the best driver on that day. Everything just kind of came together, and you were at the right place, right time," is what he said.
Yeah.
And of course, he won the Daytona 500 back in 2011. Trevor Bayne. So we'll see him on the high banks of Bristol, of course, later on this year. A full ride now with Roush Fenway Racing, as he said, and a full-time sponsor every week on the same car. I wonder what kind of pressure it puts on a driver that, hey, this week you got XYZ company, and next week they may not be with us, and then the following week we may have ABC company. I wonder how it affects a driver getting into the seat, getting ready for the race each week, knowing that, hey, this week we got a sponsor, next week we may not, this week we do. I mean, I would think that mentally that would affect you some. I guess because if you do good this week with my sponsorship, there's a good chance I'll come back and do it again. If you don't do well, I may jerk my sponsorship, get completely away from NASCAR, go put on somebody else's car. So I would think that's added pressure not to have a full-time sponsor.
Well, I think the older drivers and the more seasoned drivers, I think that would be a big thing, especially if you don't perform well, you're not going to get paid. I mean, the sponsorships go flying. But these younger drivers, they just want to get behind the wheel, and they want to prove themselves, and as they prove themselves, the sponsorships come along. Is there a little bit of pressure? I'm sure there's some. I mean, but do they take it in stride? I think much easier than the old veteran drivers.
Tomorrow's show, we'll be hearing from Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., as we mentioned. Coming up before the end of the show today, we'll hear from my boy Rowdy. Kyle Busch talking about have they sit down as a team at Joe Gibbs Racing and their particular team and kind of strategized how many wins they're going to get for 2015. He'll join us before the show's over today. This just in, if you're an NFL fan, Chicago Bears coach John Fox did not, had a chance to give quarterback Jay Cutler a vote of confidence, declined, leaving his session with the media talking a non-committal stance on the signal caller. Now, Fox said he met recently with Cutler, has not decided about the quarterback's future. So, anyway.
I think he's gone.
Think so?
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
he is another one of those pretty boys that's been given chance after chance after chance to prove himself. In the last 2 seasons, his demeanor on the sideline. I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what else would. But they need to move forward and get somebody in there that's going to be more of a reliable quarterback.
Cutler set Chicago's season single record in completions with 370 during the team's 5-11 season last year. Posted career highs in completion percentage at 66% and passing touchdowns 28. But big but tied Phillip Rivers for most interceptions of the league with 18. Also lost 6 fumbles to lead the league in turnovers and was benched in December for a loss to the Detroit Lions in favor of backup Jimmy Clausen, who played for Fox in Carolina. Didn't Clausen play at Tennessee?
Yes, he did.
That's what I thought. Wasn't he a Tennessee boy, Jimmy Clausen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, anyway, he got
and
benched.
He didn't do any worse. I mean, I don't. The Bears were the Bears.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Tommy.
Yeah.
But the Bears were the Bears back then, and I don't care who you had behind center. It was tough road to hoe.
The Bears also, here we go, they're going to start to recycle players like the Raiders do. The Bears met with recently released quarterback Josh McCown at the Combine today to discuss a possible return to the Windy City for Josh McCown. So, so anyway, Cutler apparently not getting a lot of support from his new head coach, John Fox. So I don't know what kind of money the guy's making, but if the checkbook's a problem, oh, here it is. Cutler's $15.5 million base salary.
That's almost $1 million a game. Come on.
That's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Good grief. $15.5 million base salary.
And he can sit on the bench and pout and make that money. Oh, man. I'm doing something wrong.
There you go. $10 million of the quarterback's 2016 salary is guaranteed if he's still on the roster on the 3rd day of the new league year. By March the 12th, if he's still on the team, he gets $15.5 million this year guaranteed and $10 million in 2016 if he's on the roster on the 3rd day of the new league year. I guess he's got to be on the roster, on March 12th, 2016.
Yeah.
But this year, guaranteed, whether they cut him or not, the guy's going to get $15.5 million. So if you say, hey, you're out, okay, I'll go to the house. What'd you say, $15.5 million?
That's almost 16 games.
Let's see what that is.
16 regular season games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this here. I'm fumbling here to find my calculator. Here
That's
we go.
what, 800,000?
Yeah, I don't know. 15 divided by 16. Let's see how that goes for you. About $937,000 a game.
Jeez.
All right, let's divide that by 4 quarters, and he's going to be sitting over there making $234,000 a quarter, if I'm reading this right. So, that West Virginia math maybe come back to haunt me.
That's close enough for government work.
Yeah. By the way, his regular season record, 61-58 as a starting quarterback. So
he needs to go.
Yeah. Well,
and I might become a Bears fan if he goes.
Really?
Oh yeah, I used to back in when Dick Buckus was. Oh yeah, boy, that was the days.
Monsters of the Midway.
I was a 49er fan, and then I became a kind of a quasi Bears fan. Then I went back to the Niners, Cowboys, but
How about
the Raiders?
Not so much. Gotcha.
Not yet.
Okay. Maybe. Maybe. I may get you to sway you.
I
swayed you on the Reds.
Yeah, you did. You took me. You stole me from the Braves.
Gotcha. Got him. He's a Reds man now. Now, the question before we go to the break on this whole deal is, what knucklehead in the Bears organization let them sign Cutler to a guaranteed $15.5 million base salary for this year? And $10 million, I mean, what attorney or who set this guy down and convinced the Bears organization, you guys need to sign this guy long term, which they did. I mean, they got to pay him $15.5 million. How many guys that's going to cut out of getting to bring on board, because you got to pay him $15.5 million for virtually sitting on the bench and running a clipboard.
Well, he was supposed to be the franchise player. He was supposed to take him to the promised land.
I don't know, but
somebody thought that he would. Yeah, but I guess they didn't do enough research.
Somebody got a hoodoo there.
He played at Vanderbilt. Come on.
Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with Vanderbilt?
How many quarterbacks do you know came out of Vanderbilt? Well, I take that back. One, making $15 million.
Yeah, one. There you go.
Here we go.
Go ahead, hit it.
No, I didn't hit it. I forget to get it in time. That's all right.
All right. So, anyway, Cutler is going to be, looks like, cut or pushed to the side. And maybe McCown, they're going to come back and bring him back. Maybe nothing's been said about Jimmy Clausen, who came back. And, I mean, he put him in during the Lions game in December, but I don't know how he did. But
I think he just had a one-year contract. They're probably looking for somebody just to fill in an emergency situation.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's happening. This came to us out of Chicago. Also, before we go to the break, former Tennessee linebacker A.J. Johnson turned himself in on a charge of aggravated rape, was released on $40,000 bond. Johnson had been on the list of players invited to this week's NFL Scouting Combine. NFL announced it had withdrawn that invitation last week, one day after the Knoxville News-Sentinel reported that Johnson was being indicted. So his career probably just went on the shelf, I would think.
It's tanked.
Yeah, and it should.
Yeah,
it should. It's a charge. You're innocent until proven guilty, but the old adage, where there's smoke, there's fire. So A.J. Johnson, his career, obviously, man, he had everything going for him, too. This guy's had a chance to make some big money.
And I hate it for him, but he got what he deserved. He's being treated just like he should be treated.
There you go.
And this is a lesson for all those other young men out there that think they may want to bend the rules.
Exactly. And they can't, because if you do, it's going to come back and it's going to haunt you, no question.
You got it.
So before we go to the break, something totally off of sports, but our thoughts and prayers are with the United States Marines. ISIS, apparently, I was reading last night, they're like 5 miles away from U.S. Marine Base.
Yeah, they're over there in Iraq. Yep.
And I can't remember the name of the base, but the ISIS folks are about 5 miles away. Let's hope that our government does not do them like they did when they left Yemen and made them surrender their weapons, that surely they're armed over there to defend themselves over these guys.
Let me ask you this.
I feel the back of my neck getting hot already.
In that town that's 5 miles away, 10 miles away, wherever, ISIS burned to death 45 people.
Yeah.
How much have you heard about that on the news?
Not much.
See,
no.
Our president is non-committal.
Yeah.
He's quiet about it.
Yeah.
So if you don't think he's just going to turn his back on our Marines, I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. He's done it everywhere else to everybody else.
Yeah.
So, boys, we are praying for you.
Yeah, and you're going to need our prayers, I'm afraid. So, and the other thing too, the folks that they did what they did over the weekend. Those were all Christians, and it was never stated from the White House these guys are Christians, but they were persecuted for their Christian faith. And so these guys in the same boat. So our Marines, would you say they're under fire possibly over there in the Middle East, or will be?
I think that at some point it's going to hit the fan, and it's going to be. I think it's going to happen there.
Yeah.
You got 360, roughly 360 Marines. And people don't realize this base is out there in the middle of nowhere. It's basically undefensible.
Yeah. So you're setting ducks.
Yeah, they're setting ducks. You got a fence around 13 square miles of just desert, and and they've got their tents and sandbags and all. But as far as any natural elements to be used as a defensive posture, no, it's just a hole in the sand.
Wow. Right here, folks. The greatest country in the world, we need to be able to defend ourselves, and we need to eradicate those which are threatening harm to us both overseas and hopefully not ever stateside. But you've told me more than once that it's just a matter of time for those kind of things happen here. And I think when it happens here, you're going to see folks take matters in their own hands.
You better believe it. And there's a lot of people out there that I know personally that have already begun to prepare in that aspect.
Yes, absolutely. So. Anyway, our thoughts and prayers going out to the Marines in the Middle East. Again, they're 5 miles away from the ISIS, and they've said they're coming after them. They even said over the weekend they're going after Rome. They're on the southern tip of Italy, and said we're coming to Rome. So to I guess create havoc with the Catholic Church. So anyway, not a sports topic, but certainly our prayers and our thoughts go out with our United States Marines and their families back here stateside. Probably some tense moments as they see things unfold in the Middle East. We hear about Daniel Norris a lot here in the Tri-Cities, a fantastic pitcher. Well, there's another young man who's doing pretty well, a former Science Hill baseball star, Will Carter, again now pitching for Alabama, the Crimson Tide, and redshirt junior. Had 7 shutout innings against Maryland Eastern Shore, which is not a powerhouse baseball team. However, it is that which it is. Again, pitch count, he allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, and struck out 6. Will Carter, again, 6'3", 190, right-hander, played at Science Hill and now on the staff at Alabama. So
that's another young man that has been in my home.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Been there with Norris?
Norris and Will Carter were buds with the man-child.
With the man-child, really?
Oh, yeah.
With your son. So,
it's okay, Tom.
Yeah. So I kept thinking, I think I'm hearing these noises. Someone's snoring right over there. So, interesting. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Again, it's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, podcasting, soon to be on iTunes. And so this thing's growing, and we're picking up sponsors and bringing them back where we had them before, and that's exciting. And so these folks are coming on board, and our latest to come back with us is Book Lovers Warehouse from our previous stop. So we're looking forward to that. And so he'll start Friday, as a matter of fact. I think I told you earlier, Southern Conference named East Tennessee State's Destiny Mitchell as its basketball player of the week. Had a couple of double-doubles. She's now got 33 double-doubles in her ETSU career. And also Tri-Cities Christian School hiring Tom Williams to coach the Golden Eagle football team. Williams, a 4-year letterman at DB, previously coached at Ross and Robinson, Sullivan Middle, Sullivan North, and Dobbins Bennett. And so he's now, again, the head football coach at Tri-Cities Christian School. And, again, thanks to the Johnson City Press and the Kingsport Times News for some of our sports tidbits. And, again, the basketball schedule tonight has been snowed out or iced out again tonight. No basketball across the region as we get ready for another cold night. And so they're still going to try and remake that up. And, boy, once they get it going, I guess this weekend the temperature's going to moderate. Once they get it going, there's going to be a lot of basketball in a short period of time. So
it's going to be like a summer AAU basketball tournament on a weekend.
That's exactly right.
Going to get it done.
Going to get her done. Quick break. We'll be right back. Yet to come, we're going to hear from Kyle Busch as we move on here on this Wednesday, day number 8 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Wednesday, 8th day of our endeavors, and we thank you for being with us wherever you may be. And we'll tell you more about how you get those Bristol Speedway tickets coming up here in just a minute. Again, it's very easy to do that. Again, they are practicing as we speak at Daytona International Speedway. We'll stop, do a 2 o'clock series and stop it, or a session, and come back with a 3:15 session. Then tomorrow they'll do one more practice session before the Budweiser Duels tomorrow night. Again, coming up tomorrow on the show, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We'll have also Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. And so a couple of those guys are former winners at Bristol Motor Speedway. And, of course, we're talking about the Daytona 500. We'll talk to them coming up here. We'll visit with them, as we said, tomorrow on tomorrow's show. A few minutes ago, talked about Jay Cutler may not be back as the Bears quarterback. This just in. Redskins coach Jay Gruden says Robert Griffin, or RG3, will enter next season as the starter. Entering his fourth season, ending the season as the starter thanks to an injury to Colt McCoy. And so he is the number one guy going into 2015 for the Washington Redskins. I don't see it. They're 4-12, and I just don't see him being the man for this football team.
I think they're in a pickle. I don't think they've got their backs in a corner. They've got no choice but to pick him and go with him, unless they can come up with a draft pick that's going to be outstanding, which is not likely. So. They've got no choice.
Only other quarterback on the roster for 2015 is Kirk Cousins. If I'm not mistaken, he played at Iowa, I think. Yeah. But anyway, Cousins took over in week 2 after RG3 hurt his ankle. Cousins threw 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. 5 of those picks occurred in the fourth quarter. That's not good with trying to drive and win football games. So anyway, RG3 will enter the season next year as the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins, and this guy is a tremendous talent, but I don't think he's the one.
As I said during the break, this is someone that needs to step back and learn the game from a veteran player. You can't win it with your legs. Yeah. I'm sorry. He's all those quarterbacks that have come out that have scrambled and run. It's just a matter of time they get hurt.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. So anyway, RG3 is the new man, or the confirmed man, for the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins. Again, we're talking about Daytona 500. All right, let's see guys that are going to be in the field for this year's running that have won the Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip, 2-time winner in 01-03. This is just in this decade. Of course, juniors won it twice, last year in 2004. Jeff Gordon brought on the checkers in 05. Let's see, in the 2000 decade, Jimmy Johnson's won it in 06 and 2013. Current points champion Kevin Harvick won it in 2007. Ryan Newman, you got the question yesterday. Who was the last guy to win the race without driving a Ford or Chevy? Drove a Dodge. Was Rocket Ryan Newman in 2008. Matt Kenseth has won it twice this decade, in 09 and 2012. That's my guy, after Kyle Busch, of course. That's my guy to keep an eye on to win this thing. He just quietly, maybe not so quietly because he's a veteran driver, but I noticed up and down media day, all the interviews, everybody else is 25, 30 minutes. This guy was in behind the podium on the microphone about 7 minutes. The guy doesn't say much. He just goes out and drives. I love him. Matt Kenseth
shows it on the track.
There you go. Gets her done.
Who do you think's the top Toyota driver?
And wins or going into the season?
No, going into the season. I mean, who do you think has the best shot at a Toyota?
To win the 500?
To win the 500.
Of course, I'm going to say Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards. I think anybody out of the Gibbs racing camp may have a shot at it.
He's due. Gibbs is due to have a Daytona win.
Yeah. So I think any of those guys, but of course I'm going to pull for the 18 ride.
I know you are.
And I saw his paint scheme last night. The Crispy M&M's Toyota this weekend.
Crispy M&M's.
Crispy M&M's.
Is that blue?
No, it's still got
purple.
No, it just shows the logo Crispy, and it really shows just a condensed picture of the package. But it's the Crispy M&M's Interstate Batteries Toyota. So he's never won the Daytona 500. Kenseth again has 09 and 2012. Here's a guy we haven't talked much about. Jamie McMurray won it in 2010 in Chevrolet. And so he's got to be one of those you have to consider. He's a former winner. Trevor Bayne, we heard from earlier in the show, won it in 2011. As we said, the last three have been Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, and, of course, last year Dale Earnhardt Jr. won it. And they're practicing today at 2. They're about to wrap up that session and start another session at 3:15. Noon tomorrow. Then tomorrow night we'll be talking a lot tomorrow about the Budweiser Duels, getting ready to roll off 60 laps, a 150-mile race. And again, we talked about this earlier in the week. Jeff Gordon's on the pole, but if his car blows or he wrecks, he has to go to the back of the field as a
why race? You've got the pole. I mean, does it mean anything?
Maybe he has to. I mean, I would assume that he has to go out there.
Then I would drop to the back and just kind of coast.
I'd be out there going real slow. If they're clocking.
I mean,
he clocked the qualifying speed of over 200.
You know he won't.
No, he won't. But he clocked it at 200. First guy to do it since 1987. Last guy to qualify for the pole at Daytona over 200 miles an hour went back and checked, 210-plus miles per hour.
Bill Elliott.
I
got that.
You got that one. So, so anyway, if I'm Gordon, I'm like you. I'm going to be out there, but I'm going to be kind of just kind of driving around.
I'm on a Sunday drive.
There you go.
Left turn coming up.
Because I don't want to get knocked out of the thing. I want to be on the pole Sunday.
Yep.
I don't want to have won it and to get in a crash or wreck and get relegated to the back of the pack, which is what happened in a backup car. So
and it's happened.
And it has happened. Absolutely, it's happened. So last guy to start from the pole and win the Daytona 500. We talked about that yesterday. Last one to be on the pole and win it from the pole was Dale Jarrett back in 2000. Jeff Gordon did it, by the way, in 1999, so the year before. But the last, most current one to start from the pole and win the Daytona 500 was Dale Jarrett in the 88 ride. So we'll see how that goes. As promised, here he is again, Kyle Busch, again in the M&M's, the crispy M&M's Toyota, talking about sitting down, and did his team sit down in the offseason and kind of strategize how many race wins are you trying to get in 2015? He had this to say.
No, we haven't necessarily put a number on how many races we need to win. We haven't done that. We're just out to compete and out to do our best, and try to reach our potential each and every week and see what happens from there.
The Sprint Cup Championship idea kind of hanging over your head all the time. I haven't gotten there yet. Got to do it this year. Is it pressing and all like that? Or?
Well, I mean, not necessarily at the beginning of the year, but when it comes down towards the end of the year or you fall out of contention of being able to win a championship, you just then know or realize or feel that a whole another year, a whole another 365 days is essentially wasted. So it's frustrating in that respect that I haven't been able to win a championship yet. I certainly want one. I certainly feel that I'm capable of winning one. Our team is capable of winning one. It just hasn't been all the right circumstances yet.
As far as the young guys, crop of young guys coming in, is it a big difference between when you came in and where they're coming in now?
I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like it's all that much different. I remember it being tough. It was a hard form of racing, and to be able to battle it out each and every week and to finish top 5, finish top 10, it was tough. But man, last year was probably my worst year ever since being a rookie. So I felt like a rookie. That's how bad we were. But as a company, we all didn't really run all that well either. So it's hard to say. But when you're guys like Brad Keselowski or Joey Logano or Jeff Gordon, you're running up front, you're consistent, you're being fast, then it's it seems like days go by a lot easier.
Is respect and
What's what?
Best advice for those young guys?
I don't know. Do your deal. Don't. If there's one to not come in like, don't come in like Brad. Try to be somebody of your own.
Is respect grudgingly earned in the garage area, from your fellow competitors on a race-to-race, year-to-year basis?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely situations that you've had over the years of which you have grudges, and whether it's a weekly thing or whether it's a monthly thing or a yearly thing or a forever thing that happens. I mean, all those scenarios are out there with particular guys that you don't necessarily get along with, or you do, but it's kind of going to go away. So that stuff happens.
Is that the case with Carl? I mean, he comes over there, you've got to accept and make bygones bygones, and because he said that at one point or another, he got into it at least once with one of all of you, and just kind of had to put it aside and start anew.
Yeah, but Carl and I, we were fine way before anything was known that he was coming to JGR. I mean, it's been a few years since we've had issues, so it's been pretty good in that respect with Carl. I haven't had any problems with him. So when it was told to me that the option or the opportunity for him to come on over was available, that I was good with it. I was for it. It wasn't a guy that I definitely was like, no, we can't have him come over here. That's just not going to work.
Is there that guy out there?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There you go. I would think Brad Keselowski would be the one that, even mentioned Brad, don't come on the scene like Brad. And And it's interesting. Tomorrow we'll hear from Keselowski. He is pretty flamboyant. He'll have be interesting to hear his comments tomorrow about his summation of 2014. And I don't know if he's cocky. I don't know how to describe Keselowski, but he is he's pretty sure of himself. I'll say that. So anyway, that's Kyle Busch again in the Toyota M&M's Crispy M&M's Toyota 18 ride, getting ready for the Budweiser Duels tomorrow and practicing today again at the Daytona International Speedway Complex and getting ready for the race coming up on Sunday, the Great American Race Course. We're getting ready for it's April, baby.
Yeah.
April the 19th. I'm jacked up already. And again, it's the Food City 500 coming up on April the 19th. Tickets available 3 days in April. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 days in August on Friday and Saturday. $149 a ticket. That'll also get you access to get your season tickets for the two races, and also get you access to get tickets for the Battle at Bristol for the Hokies and the Volunteers coming up in September of 2016. And then also you'll have access by getting these tickets for $149 per ticket. 5 days of racing comes out to $30 a day. You can't beat it at $30 a race. You get right down to it. $149 also gets you access to buy, if you want to, the Super Pass to see the pre-race concert on April the 19th, the Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yeehaw.
I've got their CD around here somewhere. I'm going to kind of jam to that a little bit tonight and see. These guys are good. They can
going to reminisce.
Oh, yeah. They can get with it, and they do a great job. So, anyway, how do you get these tickets? Very easy. Bristol Tix, BristolTix.com, and or go to the phone at 423-BRISTOL and call, and I'm sure they're there today, and get yourself the tickets for $149. That is a great value. And then you got your tickets locked in for the whole year for the April and August race, Food City 500, and, of course, in the fall, the Urban Tools Night Race, and, of course, the Xfinity Series racing this on the 18th of April coming up as well. And that's going to be a lot of great racing on the high banks of the world's fastest half mile. We got 2 minutes left here. I want you to weigh on this one. Just popped up here. Jameis Winston, role model for young men everywhere, has not decided whether to throw at this week's NFL scouting combine. Quarterback coach George Whitfield told ESPN NFL insider Chris Mortensen. Winston has a mindset of what he wants to do at the combine, but the 2013 Heisman Trophy winner is discussing his options with his advisors. Now,
he is arrogant.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to the combine, why would you not go? I mean, if you're going there to show your stuff to get drafted.
Here's a perfect example. I'm on my soapbox.
There you go.
We can go past 3 o'clock.
All right.
Here's the perfect example of an athlete, okay, who gets his way every time, regardless, because it was all about the money.
There you go.
Yeah, he had issues off the field, and people looked the other way. I can get away with it. Look who I am. I'm Jameson Winston.
Yeah.
All right. Now he has to make his wares in the NFL, and now he's already showing his stuff there. Well, maybe I'll go to the combine. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I'm that good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I would never. If I was an NFL, whoever the head guy is in each team that is recruiting draft players or looking to draft somebody, I'm not. I'm looking the other way.
It also says that Winston's agency will also have some input in the quarterback's decision. Now, if I'm the NFL going, okay, Horace, you're going to show up to throw, I don't think I want to throw. If you want me to possibly draft you, you're going to throw that football. I want to see how good you are.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Yeah, so
don't give it to him.
Yeah, this guy's.
Don't give it to him. That's just the opposite message that would be sent that we just talked about against A.J. Johnson, where he got what he deserved. I hate it for him, okay? But here's I won't say it's a similar situation, but close, off the field antics, and this guy's, on the top of the hill. And I'm sorry. I just don't agree with it.
Projected as the number 1 overall pick by the Tampa Bay Bucks in the latest mock draft.
Let him go to the Bucks.
Yeah. But anyway, I just don't see how you can go to a NFL combine where you're there to show how good you are to throw the football and says, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. How does he get by with it? How does the NFL say, wait a minute, you're coming. We have the cookies, cowboy. You're going to do what we want you to do.
Well, if he doesn't show up, they don't draft him.
Oh, he's there. He's just not going to throw.
Well, then
he's at the combine. He's just not decided whether he's going to throw.
That's a big black mark in my book.
I mean, if you're going to, for example, I know this is a crazy analogy, but if I'm going to go drive an audition for Bristol Motor Speedway and get up and go, I don't think I'm going to drive the car.
He's already trying to get money to perform at the combine, and that is just pathetic.
But
I'm sorry.
You see my point?
Oh, I know.
If I'm going to go up an audition to the Speedway and I say, oh, by the way, Jerry, I don't think I'm going to drive. You're going to go ahead and draft me, and I'm going to go ahead and get a car for the BMS races.
You can have my picture standing by it, but that's about it. Yeah.
But I'm not going to get up here and audition. Yeah. I don't have to. And the NFL apparently is, well, okay. And these agencies in on this too? I mean, come on.
It's all about the money.
See, this is why.
And, and the sad thing is some team
will pick him.
Sure.
Because he'll put fannies in the seats. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, anyway, not a big fan of Jameis Winston, to say the least. But heck of a talent. But, man, oh, man, oh, man. This guy's somebody's got to sit him down and say, Cowboy, here is how LIFE works. This is the life. And so far, I don't think anybody's done it. He seems to have led a pretty charmed life. That will do it from here. Again,
Can I throw one more thing
yes,
before
go
we go off?
Yes.
We forgot to talk about, I guess you would call this an athlete that climbed to the top of the peak this weekend, competing against hundreds of others, and came out on top. And for those of you on live stream, you're going to get to see who I'm talking about because I'm going to put it up right now.
Oh, I forgot to talk about it. My bad. Yeah.
I'm talking about Miss P, the beagle that stole the show at the Westminster Dog Show, beating out the Portuguese water dog.
There
that was
you
a cousin to the Portuguese water dog living at the White House.
Really?
Yes.
So Miss P is the number one dog.
Miss P, number one.
Now, is there any correlation because she's tied into the president's dog that she got preferential treatment?
I couldn't tell you.
Like
but,
Jameis
but,
Winston?
But she came in second.
There you go. Came in second. It's a beagle, is that correct?
It's a beagle.
Miss P.
Yep.
That's cool.
Awesome.
All about a beagle. We had beagles growing up as kids, and they make great pets.
Yep.
So, loving dogs. Of course, you can't ever keep them around. They're always on a scent going after rabbits. But
they are.
But they're a great dog. So, that's a great way to end this show, talking about dogs and the beagle, Miss P. Hey, we're out of time. Thank you. We sincerely thank you for yours. We'll back at it tomorrow again with day number 9 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. For Horace, this is Tom Taylor again, and for all the gang, we say thank you very much. And, again, check us out. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Podcasting one more time. How can you find that?
On Stitcher. Download it to your smartphone and go for it. Search Tom Taylor Sports Show, and it'll be right there, or on iTunes.
There you go. And we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.